Hey guys, welcome back on the channel. In this video, we are going to cover the 4 main types of DeFi protocols that users can yield farm with. As you may know, DeFi is often referred to as the nowadays Wild West of finance, and it kinda is. There's no regulations as of now, and since blockchain is the new technology that is the foundation for DeFi, it also comes with a lot of risks. That's why we are on this mission of, I like to call it mapping DeFi. So the whole point of it is to help newcomers to get comfortable with all the options available, break down DeFi protocols, making them easy to understand for even beginners, because there's so much information out there that it can be overwhelming for new users. I know it was my case. I found myself looking at DeFi Llama and being kind of overwhelmed with the sheer amount of information that it was available. And if that's your case, consider subscribing to the channel, liking the video. You will be joining a growing community of like-minded individuals. The whole point of it is to help each other out, sharing information, help people to onboard DeFi. And by doing that, I believe we are setting the foundation to build our wealth through DeFi and the financial revolution that it is already bringing. So you don't want to miss that train, I believe. Now this video will just scratch the surface of how these protocols work. Drop a comment if you want me to cover a specific protocol in more detail, and also refer to the description for more information on the topic, because there's already a ton of content on my channel about mainly liquidity farming, and I will link more information there for you in the description. Therefore, let's move on and let's cover the 4 main types of DeFi protocols to yield farm on. We're going to talk about staking, lending, insurance premiums, and liquidity mining. For each type, we'll also provide a brief explanation of how they work, mention pros and cons, discuss risks/rewards you can expect, and also highlight some of the most popular protocols out there. So I think it's going to be a really cool one, especially designed for beginners. So let's get to it, guys. There's a lot of information here to cover, and I don't want to make it too long of a video. I want to go straight to the point. So let's start with staking. How does it work? Well, staking involves locking up your cryptocurrency in a blockchain network to support its operations. And if you do that, you will be helping securing the blockchain, make it more bulletproof. In return, you get rewards, typically in the form of additional tokens. This is the generating yield aspect for people who stake in order to help secure a blockchain. And in this case, the rewards are usually proportional to the amount staked and the duration of staking. Now, this is what I call traditional staking. It has its drawbacks though. I'm telling you this because I want to frame things in, and you'll understand more as the video goes on, but there are some drawbacks to traditional staking, and also because of those drawbacks, there are options which are much more beginner friendly. So let's get to it. So when you become a validator, it's not as simple as that. It does require technical knowledge and also resources. Users need to set up and maintain a node, ensure uptime, manage security, and all of these things can be challenging for people who are not comfortable with it technically. So there's a knowledge barrier to it, at least up front. I'm not saying the average person cannot learn to do this, but usually the average person will not be already equipped to deal with these things. But even with technical knowledge, not everyone can become a validator, because they need to have at least a minimum amount of Ethereum to stake. So this will be difficult for users without the necessary funds. I believe the minimum amount right now is 32 Ethereum, and that's already tens of thousands of dollars with Ethereum's current price. Back in the day when no one knew what crypto was, yeah, it was pretty much cheap, but not so much nowadays, right? Now that you have this framing of understanding what I mean about traditional staking, let's move on to the liquid staking protocols. This is where the fun begins. So how do liquid staking protocols work? They will allow users to stake their tokens and receive a liquid staking token in return. So let's say if you're talking about Ethereum, which has the most popular liquid staking protocols out there, you'll stake your Ethereum, and in return you will get liquid staking Ethereum. There's a ton of protocols out there that allow you to do it. We'll mention some of the most popular later on, but these liquid staking tokens can be used in other DeFi activities. And while you do it, you are still earning staking rewards. So you get the best of both worlds. So the way these protocols work when it comes to generate yield is just by doing the same thing as traditional staking. The liquid staking protocol, they will act as the validator themselves, so they're kind of like the bridge to help people, although they don't have the technical knowledge or the necessary funds to just become a validator. And at the same time, they still give you the flexibility to get in return your receipt for your deposit in the shape of liquid staking tokens, and you can move those tokens elsewhere to other platforms, and you can provide liquidity with those, you can lend, you can use them as collateral to borrow. Basically, you can use them, or the three other ways that we are covering here on the video, to generate yield with. You can also withdraw your initial at any time, as long as you do give all the liquid staked tokens you got back, and you don't are required to have a minimum staking period. You can deposit today, withdraw next week. It's up to you. Popular protocols for liquid staking. Lido Finance, they are a huge player for staking Ethereum. One of the biggest protocols in DeFi. There's Rocket Pool also, Frax, among many others. You will find likely a ton of liquid staking protocols that do support Ethereum staking. They are among the most popular protocols in DeFi. So the pros of these are you will have access to funds for other DeFi activities. They are also very flexible, since you can trade or use liquid staking tokens as collateral, and even users with small amounts of funds can partake in liquid staking. So this in a way democratizes staking for the average user. Now the cons, there's going to be smart contract risk. You also need to have already an understanding of going through DeFi, depositing, and etc. But it's not as hard as it may sound at first. Believe me, it's super easy and accessible. Although there are risks, yes, but I would still consider the risks of liquid staking protocols to be on the low end compared with the three other types of protocols to yield farm on. And when it comes to rewards, well, they can vary depending on the token which you are staking, but usually they're going to be also on the lower end. If you're looking at Ethereum, you're probably going to get just 1 digits APR, which is not necessarily a bad thing because this is completely passive. As you deposit, your money starts generating yield and you don't have to worry about a thing. Let me just add a quick note before you move on to the next point. While nearly 99% of DeFi protocols, they will offer staking as an option to generate rewards, it is important to understand that there is also what we can call token staking in DeFi. And these protocols will likely be offering you this way for earning. It's going to be token staking and not traditional staking. They both work differently because the yield in token staking is not necessarily tied to network security or transaction validation, but rather to the protocol's incentive mechanisms. Alright, now that we got that out of the way and you can see the differences between all these types of staking, let's move on to lending protocols. So how do they work? They do allow users to lend their cryptocurrencies to others in exchange for interest. While if you are aiming to get a loan, you are trying to borrow some money from these protocols, you can also do that as long as you provide collateral to secure the loan. So how do these protocols generate yield? Well, users earn interest on the lent amount. The interest rates can vary based on demand, supply, and the type of cryptocurrency you are lending. When it comes to popular protocols, we're talking about Aave, a decentralized lending platform, Compound, which is also a major lending protocol, and MakerDAO, known for its stablecoin pegged to the dollar, which is called DAI. All these protocols allow you to earn passive income by generating interest without actively managing funds, so they are going to be very passive, and they will also come with flexibility, so you can lend or borrow extremely easily and fast, and you are not locked there for a specific amount of time. When it comes to the cons, we have default risk. Borrowers may default on loans, though collateral helps mitigate this risk. Also, there's going to be variable rates, so interest rates can fluctuate, affecting potential returns. Now, considering risks and rewards, I would consider risk to be low to medium and the rewards as well low to medium. They will depend on the type of cryptocurrency you are lending. Blue chip assets will earn you lower rewards, But also you will have the option to lend other cryptocurrencies that can give you higher rewards, but they are not as stable as blue chip assets. Now let's move on to insurance premiums. The way they work is that DeFi insurance protocols allow users to provide coverage for various risks in the DeFi ecosystem. These risks can include smart contract failures or hacks, and in return of doing this, of providing this coverage for these risks, users will earn premiums on it. These premiums will be generated by those who are seeking insurance coverage, alright? And the premiums here will be distributed among the insurance providers. Popular protocols include Nexus Mutual, which is a leading DeFi insurance provider, Insurace, that offers multi-chain insurance coverage, or Etherisk, known for its decentralized insurance solutions. When it comes to pros, I would say that risk mitigation is the one who shines above everything else, because these protocols help to protect the DeFi ecosystem, but also they come with cons. There's still risk exposure. Providers are exposed to the risk of claims. So when it comes to risks and rewards, I would consider the rewards to be medium, but the risk to be high. And that's just because a lot of crazy things still do happen in DeFi, and it's somewhat normal, I believe, because it's still early stages of blockchain technology that we're talking about, and DeFi is built upon that. So risk is still inherent to any protocols actually that work and run in DeFi. So let's move on. The fourth type of protocol or way you can yield farm with, and that's going to be protocols that allow you to liquidity mine. Liquidity mining basically involves providing liquidity to decentralized exchanges. Users deposit their assets into the liquidity pool, and they will earn rewards every time this liquidity pool is used by traders. So when people go on the pool, and let's say it's a pool of Bitcoin paired with a stablecoin, they buy Bitcoin or they sell it. As long as they are using the pool, they pay a fee, and that fee is where the generated yield is coming from. That fee is going to pay users who do provide liquidity. So in the example I just gave, you would be paid 50-50 in Bitcoin and the stable coin that is paired for the specific liquidity pool we're looking at. Popular protocols include Uniswap, PancakeSwap, among many others. I did extensive content already about liquidity pools and decentralized exchanges. You'll find a ton of useful links in the description about those, and feel free to check my channel to see much more information on it. When it comes to the pro side, these platforms do pay out high rewards. They do offer substantial returns, especially in new or popular protocols. When there's a lot of volume involved, those protocols can print, and when you do get paid, you're getting automatically passive income. So you are earning rewards without trading actively. Actually, you're getting paid when other users trade and use the pools you provide liquidity to. So that's some really nice passive income generating machine that you are already looking at. Now let's look at the cons, because there are still cons, mainly the risk of impermanent loss. That's why this is also the most rewarding type of DeFi protocols you can generate yield on. Believe me, if you provide liquidity, at some point you will experience impermanent loss, and that's why these protocols are so rewarding, just to offset that risk and incentivize users to do provide liquidity. And the risk of impermanent loss, simply put, is the risk of losing value due to price fluctuations of the pooled assets. The pool itself, they will be automatically trying to find stability, and the cost of that stability is impermanent loss. So when it comes to risks and rewards evaluation, I would consider the risk here to be high, but also the rewards will be high. Okay guys, now that I shared with you the four main types of DeFi protocols to generate passive income with, you do understand the whole big picture, but still there's going to be the need for you to get comfortable with specific protocols. So do feel free to check out the table right now on screen in order to decide which ones meet your risk tolerance and how you can allocate your portfolio to diversify your investments. Because remember, it's never a good idea to keep all your eggs in one basket. So I gave you four types of protocols for you to diversify with, and you can diversify risk simply by using different liquid staking protocols, different lending protocols. You might also try to use some insurance premiums to generate some passive yield. Or if you want to be a bit more active, you can go on and provide concentrated liquidity, which will be more rewarding, but also it will, I don't want to say demand, but they will require a bit of more action from your end in order to just manage your pools, although there's also options that can automate that process. But even if you use automating protocols for that, I would still recommend you to check your pools every day or every other day at least. So from here on, just decide which protocols meet your risk tolerance and how you can allocate your portfolio to diversify your investments. Just remember, it's never a good idea to keep all your eggs in one basket. As you've seen, using lower yield protocols doesn't necessarily mean your funds are locked and stuck with lower paying APRs. In fact, you can use, for example, liquid staking. You start generating APR from that. You take then your liquid staking tokens and deposit them in a lending protocol, for example, or you can use those as collateral for borrowing some funds, deposit them on a specific pool pair and start generating some more yield. And if you do that, if you are using multiple protocols, you can actually stack up APRs from different streams and therefore maximizing your earning potential. But of course, remember, this also comes with the risk of having more exposure due to third-party liability. So weigh in the pros and cons before committing to any strategy, I would say. Guys, I'm going to wrap this one up. Any comments, suggestions, feel free to use the comments down below for that. Thank you so much for watching. If you took value from the video, like and subscribe. Take care, you know how crazy crypto can get, and I'll see you on the next one.